So I was uploading this video, right? And I was about 95% done. And of course, as it's about to get released, there's Eagles breaking news. And what that breaking news is that the Eagles have hired Marty Mornhinweg as senior offensive consultant. And what I think that means is basically this. He is going to be that extra set of ears, that extra voice in Doug Peterson's head, talking to him about what they're doing on offense. And maybe this is a way of replacing what Frank Reich was to Doug Peterson and how Doug respected Frank Reich and what he had to say. He definitely respects Marty Mornhinweg, and he's basically giving somebody that he could talk to, he could run things through, talk about the offense, those kind of things. I think this is a very good, very smart hiring for the Philadelphia Eagles. Marty Mornhinweg knows his stuff, okay? He knows his stuff. He was with the Eagles for a while. He was with the Eagles when Mike Vick was the comeback player of the year. He was the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, if you remember, when they made the transition from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson. He knows his stuff, and I think bringing back Marty Mornhinweg is a good move for the Eagles. Somebody Doug will listen to, somebody that he respects, and I think this is a good deal for the Eagles. So Marty Mornhinweg is back with the Eagles as senior offensive consultant. Now, with that said, back to this video. As soon as I saw that Jason Peters was going to test free agency, I said, thank God! At least we could put these stupid Andre Dillard trade rumors to rest.
Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here. So, today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big ass dog. Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well, and by now I know you guys have heard the reports. You have heard the news that Jason Peters is going to test free agency. So for all intents and purposes, the Jason Peters era in Philly could be over. Now, we love Jason Peters. We think Jason Peters is the best left tackle ever to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. We think he's a Hall of Famer. He is going to come back, retire as an Eagle, no matter what happens. He's one of the greats. His legacy is set forever with the Eagles. But he is 38 years old. He cannot stay healthy. I think it's time for the Eagles to get younger. I think it's time for the Eagles to move on from Jason Peters. So I think that this is a great, great deal for the Eagles to let him go test free agency. Now, it's possible. It is possible he could return with the Eagles in a lesser role. If he goes out, let's say, in free agency, he doesn't get the money that he wants, that he's looking for, he could come back to the Eagles, sign for lesser, maybe take up a backup role. Maybe they want to move him into left guard, something like that. But Jason Peters is going to go see what he can get on the open market, and I think this is exactly what the Eagles should do. I think it's exactly how the Eagles should play it. They got to get younger. They got a first round draft pick in Andre Dillard that they got to give the opportunity to be the starting left tackle, the future left tackle of this team. Which takes me to my next point about Jason Peters testing free agency, okay? I was pissed off. I was aggravated at the video I did yesterday because I hated hearing that rumor. I hated having to talk about it, but it needed to be said because it was out there that the Eagles were possibly looking to trade Andre Dillard, in a package deal with Alshon Jeffrey. I don't know how that gets started. If I had to guess, maybe the front office, maybe they're talking about it. I'm sure they go through several different ideas, several different scenarios. Maybe something leaked out. Maybe the Eagles put it out there at the combine to see what kind of hits they would get. I don't know. But I couldn't stand it because I think it would be such a moronic, stupid idea to get rid of your left tackle who you drafted in the first round last year. Just to cut him after 1 year is horrible. And not cut him, but trade him. Get rid of him. Be done with him. That would be stupid. That would be dingbatish, in my opinion. And look, if the Eagles did that, how could I have confidence in Howie Roseman going forward in this draft? If you give up on your first round pick after 1 year, then what does that say about your future picks and when you're going to pick, who's going to pick next year? Who's going to pick this year? Who's picking at 21? Who's going to pick the second round pick? Who's going to pick the 2 third round picks, the 2 fourth round picks? You can't get last year's pick right. You're giving up on them after 1 year. I can't trust you to make any picks this year. So it would be just so stupid on so many levels for the Eagles to want to trade Andre Dillard. And fortunately, with Jason Peters hitting the free agency market, that rumor is pretty much dead. It's pretty much dead, and we don't even have to really talk about it anymore, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to let Jason Peters go, Dillard, and Big V, who, by the way, is another guy that they're saying is going to test the free agency market. Big V's supposed to make pretty good money, getting signed somewhere next year, and I don't think the Eagles are going to bring him back either. So you're going to lose Big V and Jason Peters. You're going to have to go with Andre Dillard. You're going to have to trust in guys like Jordan Mailata. Maybe we'll bring in another offensive lineman in free agency. Maybe we'll draft some guys. But with those guys going, Big V and Peters, Andre Dillard is safe. He's your future left tackle. And look, I like him. I believe in him. I thought he wasn't as bad as many other people said that he was during the year. Now, the rumor has been that he is soft, right? He was soft. There was problems, I guess. He got upset in training camp and stuff like that. He thought the Eagles were working him too hard, and people were saying he's soft. I don't know. I thought he was up and down last year. I think he needs more reps. I think he'll be fine. And I'm just glad that we're keeping our first-round pick of a year ago. Seriously, you got to, especially the left tackle. I think the kid's going to develop into a good left tackle in this league, and I'm perfectly okay with letting Jason Peters go, letting Big V go, and I think it's a good move. You got to get younger. You get rid of a 38-year-old. Sproles is retired. He's, 30-something years old, 35, 36. You got to get rid of these guys, man. You're too old. You need to get younger, and the Eagles are doing the right thing in letting Jason Peters walk, in my opinion. So shout out to Jason Peters, man. Thank you for everything you did for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for everything you did for the Philly fans. We love you. You'll always be an Eagle, and you'll always be the bodyguard. And I wish you nothing but the best in free agency this period. I hope you get every cent, every dollar you're asking for. Thank you so much, Jason Peters. Now, speaking of free agency, you know what I think is so funny about this offseason so far? You know what is so interesting? The Eagles have been so quiet when it's come to the offensive side of the ball regarding free agency. I mean, you've heard really no names linked to the Eagles. You really heard nobody that they want to pursue. I mean, we've heard a few things about Amari Cooper, but I question how legit some of those things were. Pretty much everything we've heard has been opinion pieces. I think they should get Perriman. I think they should get Robbie Anderson. You've really heard nobody's name. Not like the defensive side of the ball where the Eagles are going after Byron Jones. I mean, we kind of know this is going to happen. And I got to be honest, I'm not that big on bringing Byron Jones, bringing back an ex-Cowboy, but I'm getting used to the idea. I hate paying him $17 million a year. I don't know that he's worth it, but I'm getting used to the idea because I think that the possibility of them bringing him in, and a second corner for that matter, just like I talked about yesterday, don't be surprised if they bring in a Byron Jones and a Chris Harris Jr. or something like that. I could totally see that happening. We know what they're going to do defensively in free agency. We've heard a lot of rumors about that. But offensively in free agency, nothing. We've heard offensive stuff regarding the draft. We know that they're going to go heavy offense in the draft. But offensively in free agency, what are they going to do? We haven't really heard anything. And I find it so interesting. Really, the first thing we've heard at all so far has been that Jason Peters is going to test the market. That's pretty much it. That, and then about 48 hours ago, there was a report that the Eagles are looking to do a running back by committee again this year. That they love Miles Sanders, they view him as their number one back, but they want to rotate him in with Boston Scott, and they want to continue to do it because they feel like it's very effective. And I can't blame them, okay? Now, to me, when you talk about bringing in a rotation for the running backs, the guy that I would say you have to bring back is Jordan Howard. Bring back Jordan Howard. He's a big back. He can get you short yardage. He was good. I like Jordan Howard. But doesn't sound like the Eagles want to bring him back. I mean, there have been nothing when it comes to Jordan Howard coming back to the Eagles. It has been quiet to the point where you got to think the Eagles are just letting him walk, which means the Eagles are going to have to add a third running back. They're going to have another running back who could be part of that rotation. And one guy that has been linked, and it's really the first guy I've heard linked to the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball in free agency at all, is Shady McCoy. The Chiefs are not going to retain Shady McCoy. He's a free agent, and the two teams linked with him so far are the Eagles and the Chargers. Now, Shady McCoy is older back. No question about it. And I love Shady when he was here, when he was in Philly, and I talk a lot about getting younger. However, I do think Shady McCoy could serve a huge purpose for the Eagles, okay? Not just coming in and being a third running back, because I would bring him in as a third running back, maybe give him 5 to 8 carries a game, but more importantly, I think Shady McCoy could serve a valuable function for the Eagles in being the mentor for Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders is a stud. I think Miles Sanders is a multiple Pro Bowl type running back. I think he's that good. Some people don't believe in him that much. I do. I believe in Miles Sanders a lot. I think he's going to be good for a long time. I think he's our franchise running back, although the Eagles like to run a rotation, which is fine. You don't wear him out as much. However, being the running back in Philly, in the city of Philly, it comes with a lot of things, man. A lot of pressure on you. Fans expect certain things, and I think if you bring in a Shady McCoy, a guy who's been the franchise running back in the city of Philadelphia, okay, he's been there before, I think he could be a huge mentor for Miles Sanders and serve an important role in Miles Sanders' career in mentoring him, telling him what to expect in Philly, all the ups and downs about playing in Philly, being an Eagle. I think Shady McCoy could do perfectly. I mean, look, Brian Westbrook was a mentor to Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy to this day, still talks about Brian Westbrook and how much he meant to his career. I think you bring in a guy like Shady McCoy as your third back, okay? Maybe he gets 5 to 8 carries a game. You could even keep 4 running backs if you really want, although I don't know that they'll do it. But he comes in, you don't wear him out a lot, he's older, but he's constantly mentoring and teaching and help coaching up Miles Sanders, not just on the field, but off the field as well. I think it would be a great service and a valuable service for a guy who's your third running back. I mean, Shady McCoy talks about retiring as an Eagle when he retires. Well, hey, come back for one more year, and serve as a mentor, help teach Miles Sanders how to be a true professional in Philly. So Shady McCoy, he's possibly linked as coming back as maybe the third running back in a rotational running back system the Eagles like to use. I'm okay with it, and mainly because of the mentoring role. What do you guys think? Would you bring Shady McCoy back on the cheap as your third running back to maybe mentor Miles Sanders? Or what would you do? And what do you think of Jason Peters testing the free agency market? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.